right, welcome to the April 2023 AI-powered AMA sessions and AI tool sessions. So thank you for joining. And thank you to all the people who have joined live. It's amazing, thank you. And to the 100 plus colleagues who will be checking the recording, welcome to you as well. So there is lots of resources available already. The very first webinar, which we did March 2nd, is available. If you follow Baachu Scribble in LinkedIn, you are going to find, I think we will add the link of Baachu Scribble on LinkedIn. Please do follow if you haven't followed it, because we do post regularly over there, all the free webinars, free content, on-demand recording and others. So please do add, follow us on Scribble. So on LinkedIn, that's where we are most active. The very first webinar, that's where we seeded in on March 2nd. Then the March webinar also happened, March the 9th, where we talked about a few tools, and we talked about the beginner questions like what it means, what's plagiarism, what's copyright, what's confidentiality, what it means to us, etc. It's all there covered, which I won't be covering now, but I'll also add a little bit more about regulations and other things here. So next, the bootcamp 1 has started successfully. We have 20 bidders who are actively exploring how it helps them. The June cohort is now will open. It's already opened. You can find your place in the waiting list over there. And the prompt engineering was a successful one. We had over 60 live attendees, and it's been watched by over 300 people as well. So again, prompt engineering foundation is there if you want to catch up. And recently I hosted another webinar for a friend. You can also catch up on those things as well. So all these things are available in our Baachu LinkedIn page. So if you don't follow us, please do follow. That will be a good start. So yes, there is a talk about it. There is a report that got published, early end of March, both by OpenAI and the University of Pennsylvania. The report, again, we'll add it in the chat now. So yes, there is an impact. There are different roles are getting impact, and I'm sure you might have read it already. But specifically, this report goes in much detail about how, when, and how this is going to happen. Interestingly, if even 2 weeks later, the acceleration of AI meant the forecast of when these roles or elements of these roles will be automated is actually being put forward as well. So from our side, as sales, marketing, bidders, business winning professionals, we don't have our own profession as such, but writers, authors, proofreaders, copy markers, and bid coordinators and others, unfortunately bucketed as admin assistants. You will find how you could embrace AI to position yourself. I'm not going to say this isn't impacting you, but this is it. And there are lots and lots of research that's coming out on how this is actually going to impact colleagues in the industry. And they even went with gender-based on how the low-value jobs, which are feeding much more underprivileged communities, will be affected a lot more than the white-collar roles and stuff. Again, the link is there. Please do go and read that link. And then there are lots of other stuff that's coming up in the market. So what's happening? What the two things? Number one, the way we interact with our computers is changing. You might have noticed already. Google searches traffic is coming down, which is 10, 20 years of monopoly. So the search habits is not going to be relevant anymore. So the interaction that we are going to have is much more on plain English, or the chosen languages, if English is not your first language, what we call prompts, right? So that's a change of behavior from our side to just see how we are going to interact with computers. The second one, the most important things is, you and me, we all are finding ways to embrace AI in different ways. It could be as simple as summarizing some of the long content that we received, or just using it for emails, or big beginner stuff, or we use it hardcore, like what we use it to do big articles, big reports, even bids. So many can create content, courses, webinars, podcasts, you name it. All the content we use for it's because, again, it's becoming your co-pilot. Interestingly, the word co-pilot is what Microsoft is using themselves. And that's it. But where the companies, we got a very fast remit to create an actual bidding AI in UK. So bespoke based on OpenAI, initially it's a trial run. We're starting with training, but then we optimize it. If you attended previous webinars, I talk about AI optimized process, AIO, using that principle. 3 months, we'll be testing 10 bids and optimize what we can do on the 10 bids. Then we automate that, and then we go to the next stage. So there are a few questions that I'll answer. There are some companies which are prohibiting AI, OpenAI, ChatGPT, Bard, or generative AI in general. And there are other companies that are embracing, same companies working in the same regulated sectors, taking different approaches. So this session is more or less on what you could do to enable the discussion within your company to just make forward. But that's a company-wide agent that I'm talking about. And then what's happening here is the cost of cognitive labor, is going to near zero. It's $20. You could do all these things. So I normally have end of the webinar, I share the thoughts. But in this case, since we have already done 10 plus hours of live webinars, what we always have at the very end, I'm bringing it forward as a first 10. This is my initial thoughts. You might challenge it, you might do it. In March 9th, I just said that the era of human-only content is coming to an end. And I'm underscoring that it's actually human-only content writing is now a thing of past. I know it's a statement, but you might disagree with that, but it's there. If you immerse yourself in what's happening in the field now, you will know that if OpenAI alone has nearly 230 million users and LinkedIn has 900 million users, you could see where this is going. This is like 3-4 months out. It's happening. So you are not a bid survivor, which is like, yes, let it happen on the other side. I'm going to do what I'm always going to do. And you are not a bid observer, which is what I mean by that is, or AI observer, where, okay, I know something is happening, but I'll still continue to do that. We already covered those things because it's, the patterns is changing, and that's where we are trying to do here. This is it. So the stories are available. There is a detailed article about this minion story within our website and what's happened in the past 4 or 5 weeks. If you follow all our webinars, the journey or the evolution of what we are doing here. So add your content and add your things. I think David has a good question on that. David, I'll come back to that. UK, it's very, very open, whereas in some countries, they are taking a different positions. Again, setting aside policies, that I have 6-7 slides on AI regulation. David, we'll have a look. So what's happening here is, the AI observers versus AI survivors, we will... this is what's happening, right? So AI won't replace you, like what's the reports and other things are doing, but a person using AI will, right? So the bid coordination role, normally within Scribble community, we have 3,000 plus bid and proposal professionals. We do nothing with them. We actually send emails, we interact with them about webinars and stuff. But what transpired is, there are many companies who are looking for bid and proposal managers or marketing professionals or writers, pricing analysts. They all are part of our forum, but we never position ourselves as a talent agency or bidding agency. But today we are training a lot of our friends in AI just so that they could elevate themselves in. So, you are here, but this is not enough. Again, I normally say with this, halfway through the thing, yes, it's all new, it's 6 weeks, but it's happening very fast, which means nobody knows the accurate answer of this is how world will be. But exploring, embracing is the way forward. So I normally ask people to confirm. This is like an affirmation, which is like, okay, you know what? I am happy with where I am. I am happy to face the challenge. If so, this is not for you, because it's initially I thought it's only Q3. This is going to come and hit us, but the way things are happening, it's we are entering Q2, and it's going even more, because there are nearly 1,000 AI tools. Write it down: 1,000 AI tools just in March, early March, when OpenAI released the plugins. So from March to April alone, 1,000 AI tools have been released. So I will share some of them. and the mode of acceleration is going on. Because normally I ask you to do it, but in this case I won't be, because you are already in it. And this is Cuckoo. This is my AI I created using Midjourney. So again, I work with Cuckoo on a daily basis. Because once you kind of embrace AI, which is the word I always use, you need to work accordingly with AI, just so that it start to do. So again, Midjourney came before. I talked just Monday, we had a deep dive on Midjourney. We have nearly 1.5 hours of Midjourney training for our bootcamp students, what you can do with Midjourney. Again, it came before OpenAI. It came in July, between July. So now when I joined, way back in January, this was my number, 1173064. I mean, like it's whenever it was not my number, that's the number of people who are online. Today, it's nearing 2 million people are online. So it's if you don't want to be here, you can use this app to send it. Yes, again, Leon has shared an interesting thing. Right. So because it's so many interesting stuff is happening. Thank you, Leon. I'll share that to the wider group, but please do share that in the chat box as well, so that people can see. So everything, we have been testing it from January this year. Anything and everything that you do in bidding is possible. We have more than 40 plus small and big stuff that we have done, anything pre-proposals, anything, even articles, blogs, marketing, research, reports, you name it, and customer research, comparative research, baseline proposal content, storyboarding, mockups, graphics. Now we have enough tools on graphics that are AI powered, creating presentations, courses, etc. It's all being done, and it's all readily available. So all I'm trying to say that is the world is entirely open for you. And how are we going to do this? So again, just a quick summary, because some of you might not have attended my previous webinar. So just a quick wrap up on this. So the world is now moving into, okay, bidding is, yes, it's arts and science, but now speed comes into the picture. So the reason we shared the Baachu Scribble LinkedIn pages is because of our OpenAI collaboration, we get a lot more insights about what's happening in generative AI, with Microsoft being the tool. Last time we talked about how Microsoft 365 is evolving. And this is just Microsoft journey in itself, Copilot, even today, 2 days ago, Monday actually, which is Monday, 2 days ago, they launched Bing AI chatbot, which means, you have a Bing image generator. You already have anything that Bing uses is powered by OpenAI. So Bing launched their own search engine, the chat, which is OpenAI powered. And OpenAI released the plugins, as I mentioned, that created over 1,000 plus AI tools. Then Adobe came up with Firefly. Again, Firefly, if you haven't used, it still uses the Discord, D-I-S-C-O-R-D, Discord server. Discord is like a community forum where all these tools are here or available in beta version for you. So you could go in, join the waiting list. When they provide you access to it, you can go and play with it. It's absolutely fantastic, because I am not a creative person, but today I can easily be as creative as the most creative person in this room. So again, and if you're using Canva and others, it's coming. And so Microsoft, when people talked about, oh my God, copywriting, confidentiality, other things, I'm just saying, hey, the world is integrating with AI, everything. Amazon has integrated already. If you're using Amazon, if you don't want to use anything, like remember the shopping or the big, in the UK, the government procures many of the stuff using Amazon, and that gets connected in OpenAI. Microsoft is already connected with OpenAI. Microsoft has already given access to Copilot to most governments for them to test and use it. And today, the UK government is using it to digitize, to crunch the contracts and to manage the suppliers using OpenAI. The Canadian government has already rationalized over 4,000 contracts, supplier contracts, the bidding submissions that you are doing, right? In Europe, at least 3 countries are using it. So yes, there is a noise about regulation and stuff, but also what you need to do that is many of these players are also working with the government to ensure that how they could do. Imagine contract management, right? What's the best price? Why is this customer, why is this supplier giving this price versus that supplier for the same service in a different area? And all these things today are now is crunched by not just generative AI, open AI, but AI tools in general. So, and that's it. So it's important, if you use Microsoft, it's there for you. Again, within our portal, we have added these things. Again, when the slides are circulated, what I personally ask you to do here is be curious, and just go and click and check, because you see, many of these tools give you beta access for free. And even then, if you want to go, then they give you trial, 14-day trial, 10-day trial, or at max, it will be $99 per year, or $10 a month, or $8 a month, etc. You know, the amount of time that we're spending on unproductive tasks, etc., etc. It's worth going and doing. Again, I've shared it with you. I pretty much tested every single thing, but I'll share some of the important stuff. Again, it's there in our website. But what I'll share is this. Last week, when I did the webinar, you know, you can see more than 1,100 tech leaders came back and said, okay, AI is bad, AI is evil and stuff, including Elon Musk. And early this week, he launched X to rival ChatGPT. So if you can't compete, you create ethics. You know, if you can't, you know, it's unfortunate, especially from players like Apple and you know, Tesla's founders and other things, you know, they are working on with other things. Again, because of the search engine, Google is now working on new things. These guys, because we are so embedded, you know, if you're not using Microsoft products, you're using Google products. If you're not using Google products, you're using Apple products. Either way, they all are embedded in one form or the other. Stability AI is another tool, which is completely different to OpenAI, but based on the same technology. If you are, you can do that. But what's happening here is, there was a bug a couple of weeks ago with OpenAI. What it meant is some of the chats got exposed. So they created, okay, OpenAI bug bounty program, which means they have created what they call the red team, where they're sitting and doing this. And Meta recently released AI for children, so they could use it for drawing. And my son, who went to school just Monday, already has access to this, and he's creating drawings and other things with it. So this is the world that we live in. What I'm going to do in the next 10 minutes is just to share some of the tools. So if you're already, how many of you are using ChatGPT, right? I'll be surprised if you say no. I assume you all are using ChatGPT, right? Anyone not using it, don't worry. This is a safe environment. If you're not, please do start to use it. So yeah, now, yes, it's a web version, but there are a couple of ways how you can use it in the phone. Hey GPT, if you're an iPhone user, you know, it's authorized by Apple. So you could go, it's a shortcut. You could clear the shortcut, and what that means is you can use, you could download the shortcut as Hey GPT. Simple, install the extension, enter the OpenAI API key, add to home, and that's it. Then you are all set to use it in your phone. How many of you, if you use WhatsApp, then it's the same. Buddy GPT is another tool that you can use it. It's again, if you search Buddy GPT, you're going to get it. Use Buddy GPT, and once you open the link, you land on the chat interface, and then you can just play with it. What that meant is, you don't need a laptop to interface with ChatGPT anymore, right? So again, this is already 1 month out, but this was new. It came in after our AMA. So 1 month is a long time in AI world. So you can connect ChatGPT to the web. And because of the plugins that came out with, one of the plugins that you can use is ChatGPT, Web ChatGPT. You can add it, and it automatically connects to the web, and you can search the web, and you can use the results directly from the web in ChatGPT, and then you could go for that. As you can see, when I downloaded it already early March, it already has nearly 700,000 users. So next one, you know, is prompt, because prompt is everything. You know, if you are having a conversation with anything, you could do prompt. And again, there are lots of prompts. Prompt Genius is one. You can go in and you can choose the category, and then it will tell you what are the best prompts that you can use it for activation. So once you add this within your portal, then ChatGPT automatically kind of tells you whether you use 3.5 version or 4 version, which is the latest version, or which is low, but the thinking, the rational capacity is high, or 3.5, which is the old version, which is very fast. And you can use it, so which means it can advise you on what could be the prompts as well. So again, it's there. If you we did a prompt engineering workshop recently, and yes, that is a format for how to get the best access. But either way, you start with what we call a naked prompt. Just tell them, do this for me, or you ask it to act as somebody, and then it will do it for you. So I'll quickly go through some of these tools. You know, I know most of you are working RFPs and stuff, or you get at least get some reports in either form. Two tools you can use. You can use OpenAI directly. You can drop it in a link, web link, an open web link. So in your website, add it in your website and give that link to OpenAI. It will automatically pick it up. But again, the chances of it's reading all the pages is low. So the two other tools that might be beneficial for you, one is ChatPDF, and the other one is ChatDoc. ChatDoc and ChatPDF are more or less the same function. ChatDoc is slightly better because what ChatDoc does is you can actually chat on the side with this. Similarly, ChatPDF does the same. You upload it and you go for that. The only issue with ChatPDF is obviously when you both the tools accept up to 300 pages of documents. But when you give a lot more documents, it will skim read page 1, 8, 44, 76, 112, etc. So the best way to use these chat PDF and chat doc is you still go and put section by section, and then go, hey, between page 15 to 20, can you summarize or give the heading? And this particular headline, section 3, which has 20 pages, can you just summarize what's in that content? So if you give specific, then it just goes and gives you a specific summary. The other tool, which is much more used for research, because we also run a research company, is just Geni. Geni is another tool where you could also have website links as well. So it's only $99 or 99 pounds for the whole year. So you can add it, and you can add as many projects, content, and you could do it's much more done for research purposes. So if you are using proposal automation tools and spending thousands and thousands of pounds, the world is coming to an end for most of them because you have AI tools like Cody, where you could simply train it. You could not just add the documents to it. You could add your team details, you could add your business templates, you could add your processors, etc. Then it starts to follow it for you. Do you remember I talked about a personal bot and then a company-wide bot? This is your company-wide bot. And it starts as little as $29 per month. You can use it just for bidding, or you could simply use it to just use. So it connects to all the, if you use monday.com, to if you use HubSpot or any other stuff, it connects to everything. Simply you can just send a message and it automatically does it for you. It's an amazing tool. I suggest you also have a look. So this is a very interesting tool which I came across. And if you have a website, again, I suggest you look into this. If your website has a lot of text in the page, this will say, no, it's too much. But what you can do here is, okay, you could give a link to contact us or an about us of some of your competitors, and then you say, hey, what does this company do? Explain me, please, and then it does it. But if you want to be, I know this might be interesting for you. If you have your own website, send it to this. I know the traditional way is, if you use the SEO links, web links, broken links, and what are the keywords that's been connected, etc. Right? You just click the roast the website, and obviously it will be very offensive. It just tells you your website look like 2000 years old. Nothing makes sense to me. It's absolutely brilliant. So when you have, and if your customer is reading your website, this is what they are confused. And unfortunately, my websites, all 4 websites, the homepage was very dense, so it didn't pick it up. But when I used one of the competitor website, it's absolutely roasted it. So I suggest use it as well. You can use it for basic research. So Summit is a brilliant tool. The nice way of using the same tool is Summit. Summit, again, it quickly summarizes web articles. So you go and you find a very interesting article in Bain or McKinsey or Harvard or anything, but you don't have time to read it. So we launched a podcast, and as we did a soft launch, it'll officially go live this week. It's called Equity Matters, where we bring in some heavy hitters outside. So I just added that link and it very quickly summarized, hey, it does add over 1,000 words, more than 1,000 words. But it just summarized nicely and said, hey, this is it. And then what do you want to read? 1 minute read, 2 minute read. Again, Summit is brilliant if you are using it. Next one. Many of you might use, Open Drive or OneDrive or what do you call it? What's the tool? We transfer and other things. Toffee Share is very cool in a way, like you don't need to upload anywhere and send the link. Try Toffee Share. It's very secure, and it's free. If you are sending anything, which I've sent it to some of the clients, it's absolutely brilliant. So again, these are AI powered. Dectopus, which I already touched in the webinar, but not in the AMA webinar. This is, I use it to death. And I strongly recommend, because I haven't used it for this presentation, but when I want to build up any content, so you don't know, if you are going to meet a client and you need to do a presentation, and obviously the meeting is about, say, this month is Stress Awareness Month, so you need to talk about mental health for employees. You just go and type mental health for employees. When you type mental health for employees, it then goes back and searches internet to just say, what are the key questions people are asking about mental health for employees? And then it then comes back and, okay, I found the content. How long do you want me to have it? Are you going to speak for 10 minutes, 25 minutes, 40 minutes? It just are different. You just choose 30 minutes, for example, and depending on it will tell you, okay, I've created 12 slides for you. And the 12 slides, it automatically creates for you. You could pay money, which is again like $10 in your own template, and it will automatically create slide for you. In less than 5 minutes, you can create a mental health for employees, which is based on frequently asked questions in the internet, clearly having it. Obviously, there is no images, but it comes with the text. Try this, the future of presentations for you. Mini GPT is another tool, which is absolutely brilliant. What it does, it is, okay, I have this image, and you could upload this image. You could upload this image because obviously OpenAI said they are going to work with images, etc. And immediately the researchers within university came out with this. Again, this is pretty busy. It's free. If it works, I just want you to go back and add the image and then ask questions. What's wrong with this image? How do I, the fitness industry is all over this. So if you're a product-driven company, you can go and add, this is my product. I'm a tech company, this is my product. Add the image and say, can you write a few words on this? So you could import an image and you could ask questions about the image, or this will automatically tell you questions. Again, mini GPT-4. Hope I'm not killing you. Let me continue with a few more, and then we will open up with the regulation and other questions. So hints is early stage of development. And this, again, I've just downloaded it last weekend during the Easter break. This is very similar to the previous tool I talked about, but I like this one more. So again, it's powered by GPT-4. So within our company, we use WhatsApp, but I know Deepa's here, so we try to use Microsoft Teams. You could actually send a WhatsApp message and it automatically adds it to your calendar. Then you could go back to your calendar and say, can you write this email to anybody? It's a simple text message based thing, but it will be absolutely, it can connect anything and everything. So it's still an early stage beta, but imagine for productivity, what it can do for you, So you can send a text message, send a calendar invite. You don't need to go and do all these things. Go to Outlook, click and do, go to Google, click and do. You don't need to write any email. Can you just write this quick message to someone to call you, etc. It just does it for you. So try Hints. Hints is a good one. So without overloading anymore. So how many AIs are there? Did I tell you? See, the last count I saw was 1,000. Today is 3,406. So 3,406 generative AIs for 952. So I know I've already touched some of the tools that I liked, but you might prefer something, right? But there is an AI for that. It's the website. Go and you will find click, say for marketing, for sales. So definitely there won't be any bidding because bidding is not a profession. Find copy, or find PR, or find advertising. If marketing is there, copywriting, social media, etc., etc. Just find it, and then you're going to find it. Most importantly, go for productivity tools. Productivity tools, absolutely amazing. So if you don't get anything out of this whole webinar, there is an AI for that. Just go and have a look. So my point is, before we go for regulation and other questions, be curious. I at least spend an hour every week to explore and understand some AI tool, because many of the problems that you're facing, there is a tool that's already there. Yes, it might not be 100% perfect, but at least it's there for you to explore, and there is an AI friend for you. You're not on your own. So every month I do this, but this week alone, we just found 11 new content writing tools, but there are a lot more that we're experimenting. So what tools do we use left, right, center? Again, this is the tool that used by the company, by my company, but I use a lot more tools. ChatGPT, obviously, if it's plus, do that. Midjourney, I love it, $8 a month, do that. WordTune is a free tool. If you add WordTune, then it helps you. It's like a Grammarly, but it's free. It just comes as a little icon. And anything that you type, either text messages or LinkedIn post or Twitter or emails or anything, it just comes and says, hey, do you want me to have a look and change? It clicks, it does it. Obviously, Microsoft 365 is there, but if you have Microsoft 365 Premium, then it's OpenAI integrated already. So I've already covered it. Microsoft Teams, how you can use it to take the meeting notes out, transcribe it, create actions, send it back in like 60 seconds or so. ChatDoc, again, is something Dextopus, again, for presentation. On this side, Marketing Jarvis, we have been using it for about 3 years from the time, and they were using it at $29, but today they are massive. There, Quillbot, again, if you created content in AI, but if you want to normalize it, as they call it, you can use Quillbot. It's there. It's $99 for the whole year. So these are some of the stuff. In addition to that, I personally use a lot more tools. Now, let's come back to the question. Okay, it's all great, so we already touched about that. Many people signed it, but obviously some of the guys have already backtracked and they started their own thing, right? This is going to be a new trend. This is going to be, when I say writing human content is of the past, obviously there are people who are going to come back hard on me, which I'm happy with it. So you are going to find people, this is 100% human related, human written content. Does it? Yes. The governments are using to rationalize it. So the only thing is, they are going to ask you in future, in the recent private sector bids, we personally used the AI tool, and then we told the client, hey, this was written by AI, nothing happened. So what might happen in the coming months is, you might need to put a tick box just to comply. Hey, did you use any AI or something? But that doesn't mean you'll be rejected. But again, let's wait for regulations or anything to come back with. But what's written here is, okay, fine. Regulators can, at the moment, prohibit the use of AI. Regulators needs to stop everything until they come out with some standards, right? Good thing is, and one of my very close friend, he just came back with a question because his company has banned the ChatGPT within his company, and it's quite frustrating. They're risk averse, etc. I just did it. So if you want to write your own policy, go for this National Institute of Standards and Technology. They have created their own AI risk management framework. So if in your company where you absolutely love it, but your IT team, who obviously have control, they have no idea how the world is moving, but they're much more interested on data, privacy, etc., live in their own world because that's how they're paid to do. Good for them. Collectively, you need to work with them. So how is it going to happen? Is there are tools, AI risk management framework, already written by National Institute of Standards and Technology. Download it. It also gives you additional tools. You could find resources here. Right, we'll add it in the chat so that you know what the tool is about. So you can download it, and then you can start to do it. So and in the schools, especially, we are finding more and more of this. My personal view could be different from others. That's what I'm sharing it here. The more you declutter with the AI, the more you could be a critical thinker, right? So The banning AI and other thing is totally counterproductive. And you can see how this is backfiring in the education sector. In the education sector, they are banned on certain schools, and in other schools, they are literally finding how students are actually finding it much more proactive, and the teachers are using it to train it differently, which I'll touch next. So the next one is this. This is Center for AI and Digital Policy. Again, this is for you. And because we're already starting to work with some of the people to do AI within their enterprise level. So this is another thing. So again, this is US-based organization, but they work very, very closely with some of the governments, and a not-profit organization, totally tech ethics group. Find them here. It's caidp.org. So again, before anybody tells you we are banning it, we are prohibiting it, etc., ask them on what basis, what proofs did you had? Because you know what, if your company follows values, ethos, have a mission statement, and if they believe their employees follow them, then why do they care about what others are doing? If some bad people do bad things, that doesn't mean you, the good people within your company, will do that, right? So, and that's based on trust, that's based on totally trust. And again, CIPD has their own CIDP has their own AI policy frameworks. Again, we are starting to utilize those things, and I'm just sharing this openly so that you can start to do that. Within UK, if you're from the UK government they call it AI as pro-innovation. They started it already, and they want to be AI powerhouse by 2030. And the consultation is already out, and it's available within the gov.uk website, and you could go and do this. So on white paper, which is like what's AI used, etc. Speaking to many of the friends within government commercial function, etc. They are in a discovery phase, and many leading government suppliers are also in discovery phase. So without adding any content, what does AI do is something that you could explore. How much AI does ChatGPT knows about my company, about my competition, about my tender? When we did it, when we did the research, we did with a couple of case studies and many sectors. It's amazing. You could now do that research quickly without adding any information, right? Perfectly fine. But when you add information, again, without adding your company's information, can you anonymize it, and you can do something about it? Again, there are regulations that are coming up, but if your company is waiting to be waiting for these guys to come out with a standard, then good luck to you. EU on the other side is also, we can see what happened in Italy, and it backfired. Interestingly, 3 other countries within European Union have actually embraced it, and they are now using it for the highway projects, to train projects, to analyzing the hospitals' data and other things with OpenAI. Whereas others have taken different approach. Again, if you are from the Europe, look at this. They also have a legal framework on European Union. Again, if your company or anybody is talking about it, please do ensure that you go and align yourself with this. So good news is the European countries have actually agreed the definition of AI. So today they have agreed the definition, and they also agreed what it means to be significant risk, and they also agreed on definitions of biometric authentication and identification. So in their process, because it's very hard, right? In their process, they are just saying, okay, what's an unacceptable risk, what's a high risk, and what's limited risk and minimal risk. The challenge is, you could do something very, very basic, right? You could do something that's very, very basic, which is used for a small, stuff. But then you add some information wrongly. But again, if you already know how ChatGPT works, it's covered in the previous webinars, you could go. The chat that you are adding, it's only visible only to you, and that too only within that chat. So if you go back and create a new chat, it doesn't remember anything. And even if you give some time, if you're not working for more than 1.5 hours, if you go back and ask it to recall, it doesn't remember. So for us to go overly bonkers on it remembers copyright, confidential, etc., it's only done by people who haven't used it extensively. Or some bad guys have done some bad things, which means everybody should stop. Again, US federal government, again, this week, they're starting to say, hey, we have to come out with a regulation. Again, they're normally very slow. Most probably US will be the last country to adopt it. So from the schools, let's learn from the schools. So 1970s, calculators were banned in the UK, saying, oh my God, this is so bad. People won't do mental maths anymore. And from then on, we have come far away. And today, AI is more or less the same. The answer lies from the past. What can we do? So if OpenAI, again, have their own text classifier, if you are worried, it goes up to 1,000 words. If you're worried about how many of this, whether I want to know whether it's OpenAI generated or non-OpenAI generated, they provide their own tool. It's called AI text classifier. You just go, copy paste that content in, it falls in 1,000 words. Obviously, as you know, data cost is very high. You could copy paste that and you can see whether it's AI written or not written. But end of the day, as I always say, does it really matter whether the content is written by AI or by human fully, or it's human prompted AI, etc. End of the day, if your end user gets the message, if him or her is happy, and if they think you are going to bring value to the company, value to the relationship, etc., what are we doing? So again, disclosing the use of ChatGPT, it's there. Again, many universities have come out with this. Again, following them, this is what's going to happen. And you are going to find within the questionnaire on PQQ in the UK, or you're going to find in the questionnaires within your own countries where, hey, disclose whether you're using ChatGPT. That's it. That's all. So they are disclosing it, and then simply they're just going to work with this. So that's about it. Because in the UK, it's been very, very proactive. Just to tell you that UK gov is absolutely happy that now, because of this, a lot more SMEs now can compete because cost of bidding is now drastically reduced if they use AI. So which means many of the lower value contracts, like up to 120, 130,000 pounds, which they normally allocate for local suppliers here in the UK, now they are expecting a lot more of the SMEs who can bid for these tenders, and they could come out with because of the power of AI. Just final thoughts. I'm sending it as a reading material just so that you could read it, because this is important, because these are based on some of the questions that I received over this past 1 week, both LinkedIn messages, social media, and also in emails. This will be good for you to read it yourself and also to go and share that with anybody who's asking you the question. So do we need to adapt? The answer is absolutely yes, because that's what we do. And the contrarian thinkers, this is an absolute important word. Because what happens here is the people who are scared to change tend to stop, but people who are willing to change tend to accelerate. In the previous slides, we talked about the observers, the survivors, and the accelerators. And these are the accelerators, the contrarian thinkers, because now for the very first time, you can let go, you can challenge the status quo, you can leave the task that's been giving you boredom, pass on to an AI friend. Now you can go and do strategic thinking, creative thinking, anything and everything that you always wanted to do. So point is, yeah, AI will not replace you, but somebody comfortable will always do. So again, there will be naysayers, there will be doomsayers waiting at every corner and telling you this doesn't work, but I trust you. That's what I'm sharing all these things. And if your company trusts you, then they should also understand, come out with a high-level envelope with a framework and say, guys, these are do's and don'ts. Just work accordingly. And it's up to you to tell them, hey, this tool is helping us to do a lot more for less. And it's also helping me to be more productive, helping me to do best for the company, improve the success, etc. But this is how we can work together. But if we are on the receiving end, if you wait for the IT team and the technology people or HR and others to tell us what to do, because they are not being part of the winning business or growth, sales, etc. You are, then you'll be curtailed, right? So it's all there. Again, there are certain things that's beyond your control, and there's no point even talking about it, like regulation and stuff. But be aware, be curious, understand there are other people who are also working, having the same issues. How can we get that information, collectively build something simple for our company, simple for your use, simple for your clients, and we can go from there. From our experience, we are now integrated OpenAI and everything. Everybody knows we use it from our clients, even the buyers. When we do procurement assessments for them, we use OpenAI. The question is it giving us the value that's asked us to do before we used to do a lot more? It takes a lot of time, but today we are able to do it in a better way. So last 3 things, this was heartbreaking for me when I read it today morning. Actually, that's what this slide is there. Supposedly in the US, there are nearly 133 million between 15 to 45 cannot read for comprehension. This came from a very interesting, like a personal development magazine. So they can only supposedly they can tweet, comment, copy, and that's it. They can just get by. So what it helps us is okay, you now can shape the thinking of these people. It's been done in schools. It's empowered because English is not my first language. So obviously this tool has empowered me to do a lot more. I can now be confident. I don't need to write, rewrite, think what does it mean, because emails, when you write it could be interpreted in different forms. But now I could write this and check it with OpenAI. I said, hey, does it make sense? This is what I'm trying to achieve. Does it make sense? It gives me confidence, right? So there are a lot more people like me. And what it helped me is by us familiarizing ourselves on doing it right way, we can make wonders here. So final few pointers, learn how to use the tech. AI is not dangerous, but a bad person using AI is, and I trust you. And that's the reason we are doing this, and that's the reason your company trusts you. There will be somebody somewhere doing it, But what the important thing is, it now helps us to do a lot more. We can now have a human conversations with people. We can be kind, and we can do all the human touch. It's all there. It's human plus AI, and all these things. And this is another interesting article, the BCG article. Again, I'll add part of it, where you could say how people can embrace AI and how this actually it's important for you. Because as you know, Bain Consulting has signed with OpenAI, and now they are what we call strategic partner with them. So they are coming up with a lot of frameworks themselves to do it. Keep an eye on them, and just go. So this is the Space Crew. Welcome to the Space Crew. And what we have is here, again, within Scribble, we are adding a lot more content to it. In June, we'll be launching the next cohort, but we are having some small workshops. Every month, we'll launch new workshops here. We haven't. This is our circle. Please to join our circle. It's there, and we'll add the link. It's just a small platform that we have, and where we share our AI, where you can ask questions, and it's a lot more interactive for us. We just created in March. We have a few colleagues there, but if you haven't joined in, please to join in. Otherwise, that's done. And any questions, I'm there for you. And May 11th is the next webinar, and we'll go from there. So that's it from me. Any questions?